Tobin and Leroy here with you on FM 104.3 WQAM. Miami Hurricanes victorious yesterday over Ole Miss. They're going to the national championship. Oh, Jennifer's mad at my lighting.
She's blaming your hat. By the way, I got a question.
Yeah.
And somebody in the YouTube chat asked this question.
Mm-hmm.
How quick did you dry that hat after jumping into the pool?
I just left it out. I left it in my office. I left it out to dry. It was good in the morning. But I did wear it. I did wear it last night when I was on video for the recap that I did on YouTube. But so it was soaking wet there. But it was dry this morning. Nice material. It dries quick. And look, people are happy that I stuck with the hat because the hat was a very controversial thing yesterday.
Oh, Leroy. They were ripping.
Yeah. They were ripping my Canes hat. Yes, I got people ripping it or loving it. People were like, I need to order that hat, or people like that's the
never
worst
take
thing.
it off.
And I'm like, now this is the hat run. It's like my camo hat for the Panthers run. That's my Panthers hat.
So you got to wear that hat every day?
No, just for the games. Just for the games.
All right.
Got to wear it for the games, but I was gonna wear it today with my Vice shirt. I've got all kinds of birds. My daughter did not. She's like, what are you doing today? What are you wearing?
I mean, you do look like bootleg camo. Like you look like a redneck who wanted to be a Canes fan.
I gotta tell you guys, I like this Carson Beck fella. He can scoot.
I mean, it's really like I like the way people thought or what people thought of Carson Beck after those two losses. And the way he just methodically just kept things moving and, and kind of got that situation again and was able to come through. That's what I like about sports. Like when Malachi got the touchdown a couple of weeks ago.
After the fumble.
Right? Yeah. Like those, I like those things.
Headlines are brought to you by Doral Kia. You always pay less with your Pricito at Doral Kia. Visit us at Doral Kia or at DoralKia.com. Big Bleep Buck, he says, you guys are so lucky that they didn't call that pass interference. Well, I guess I'll take luck then. Oh, well.
Listen, the official said it best. Mutual combat.
Mutual combat, dude. I love it.
And he said 99% of the time they're not going to call pass interference on a Hail Mary.
If you guys are just tuning in, the Miami Dolphins making news today. They have hired Jon-Eric Sullivan as their new general manager. He was the VP of player personnel with the Green Bay Packers. Here's a picture last night. I just saw this perusing Twitter. This was from Alex Diaz, MIA on Twitter. And that is in the background, Stephen Ross and Sullivan Eaton.
What restaurant's that? There's a lot of wine.
It looks like a Capitol Grill.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'll tell you what, though. Wherever
he
Stephen
got a
Ross,
schnauzer on him.
Who? Sullivan?
Oh, my God.
He does.
I thought it was a third rail.
like, holy smoke. Oh, man.
He is wherever Stephen Ross is, though. That Garfinkel, he's not far behind.
Nope.
Dude, never lets him out of his sight.
Never,
dude. He's sitting there. He goes.
But I think. Would you say that Garfinkel is probably the MVP of that organization if he's doing all the other stuff around the, the Hard Rock?
He's the MVP of making Stephen Ross a football fortune.
Right. That's what I mean. Stephen Ross is his MVP.
He's like, yeah, he goes. So, but I never like wherever Stephen Ross is. I don't think I've ever seen Garfinkel like 2 feet away from him. I think that's the furthest I've ever seen Garfinkel. He's like, all right. He's probably like, hey, Tom, give me a second here.
No, I'll tell you when he steps away from him. When he starts doing the water.
Hey, look. He back up a little bit.
Yeah, he backs up.
Because he's gonna have me doing it too.
According to Diana Rossini, Troy Aikman, big advocate of Jon-Eric Sullivan.
So, all right. Look, I like Troy, right? played
biggest
against him.
supporter entering the process. That's what she said.
But I would say this. What role did he play in this?
Troy Aikman?
A lot.
What you just read?
Oh,
Right.
You heard him that Monday night game.
laid the groundwork.
If you really want to think about it, because
he's the one why Mike McDaniel got up out of there.
He started the burial.
Yeah,
he really did.
He went in on him on that Monday night game.
And then we got the news about him, which gets out there that he's been with the team. And then, if this was his guy the whole time. Because all of a sudden, maybe look, you got to cover your bases. Maybe the guy's, a bad interview. Maybe his breath smells. Who knows? So
if he's been with an organization for 20 years, I'm willing to bet that he knows how to handle that interview situation.
Yeah, but what is well, nobody wants to say this, right? Because we all want this to
say it
work
with
out.
your chest, baby. Say it with your chest.
I don't want to say it with my chest because it's going to get people mad at me.
Oh, say it with your chest.
You know who else was with an organization for 20 years and started as in the scouting department and didn't work out so hot?
But not the same organization.
No, he's been with the Packers since he was 22.
Who was that guy?
Chris Greer.
That's what I'm saying. But that would be the equivalent to the Packers hiring Chris Greer. I mean, the Packers hiring Jon-Eric. You see what I'm saying?
No, I get you. I'm just saying,
right.
Just because you've been in a place for a long time doesn't mean you can run the show. Now, listen, he's thought of very positively. I'm not saying he's going to be Chris Greer. I'm just saying.
You always have to come back after you've made some ridiculous comment. You always have to come back and then clarify. Just say it.
Are you excited that Mike McDaniel is going to take over in Cleveland?
What? See, now you just.
How would Socrates feel about that? Think about that.
You better not bring that nonsense up to Cleveland.
Put a muzzle on.
What do you mean he better not? He is who he is.
I'm happy and I'm sad.
I can't wait till the Cleveland people get after that.
Oh yeah. That's gonna go over well there.
That's gonna go over well because look, up Midwest is all about their sports, right? They don't have other things and have sports on as their periphery. Down here, there's so many sports and so many things to do. And if you get tired of a football team, you could go to the beach, go boating, go play golf. You can do a whole bunch of other things. Cleveland in December, soon as the game over with on Sunday, you start packing for next Sunday's game.
It is an interesting thing with McDaniel, though, right? You get this news. He's got 2 years left on his deal, so you don't need the money right now. But you want to get back into it. He's got apparently the Commanders are going after him. He's got a relationship with Dan Quinn. Man Campbell wants him as his offensive coordinator.
Maybe he could teach. Man Campbell could teach him to be, a leader of men.
I feel like that's
no.
I don't know.
You know what it'd be like? Them possums playing possum.
It literally feels like a buddy.
Man Campbell, the first time Man Campbell yells, and he just goes.
Point for
he said, what was Socrates say? He said, give me my kneecap back because I just bit it off.
Doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and 3 toes. I will beat your ass.
Mike McDaniel, what?
Doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and 3 toes. I will beat your ass.
One ass cheek and 3
I
toes?
anticipated this question.
Hey, so
that is going to be America's favorite buddy cop duo.
So, question: what type of coach would you like to see down here? Because as of right now, you probably only have 5 guys, 6 guys on your team that have the mentality of, say, a Dan Campbell, right? We know what they look like. We've seen them on the field. The other guys have a kind of different mentality. Now, I've always told you, football players have always grown up in football being physical. So the fact that you're telling me a football player can't be physical, I'm not buying it. But you might need to break some scar. You might need to rip through some scar tissue. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious to see what kind of coach. Because if you think of McCarthy's probably on the same wavelength as Mike McDaniel. Like, he's not a yeller. He's not a guy, that
No, but he's got
raises-
cachet. You got a championship, it gives you a little something,
Yeah. But again, when you hire a coach, a lot of times they go opposite. Like, if you go with Mike McDaniel, the next coach gonna be a hard ass.
Look, it does flip my thought of what they're gonna do, because I gotta be honest with you. Like, once the news of McDaniel hit and all the Harbaugh smoke yesterday, and they had the other guy who worked with him, I was like, oh, this seems obvious. But if they're going the direction of this guy, well, he doesn't have any Harbaugh ties. It kind of feels like, well, Stephen Ross, and Omar's made this point, Stephen Ross likes hiring first timers. He doesn't. Now, it may not be smart. Maybe the inexperience doesn't work, but that he likes giving guys their first opportunity. And why would it be surprising if they bring in this, trusted guy from Green Bay, and he's going to go with somebody that he trusts but doesn't have experience, unless LaFleur gets let go or McCarthy. But if he ends up going with a Campanelli, or the defense score Halfley is his name, it's not going to be surprising. That's what the Dolphins have gone. That's been Stephen Ross's MO, is going with the first-time coach.
Now, based on, Weaver on defense, would you be more inclined to bring in an offensive-minded coach and
keep
try to
Weaver?
retain Weaver?
I don't know if they will be able to. Weaver's got like 3 interviews.
Right.
So I don't know. I would imagine that's probably going to be up to Anthony Weaver, because it kind of feels like he can pick his own path if he wants to. I mean, how does it work with your contract? If your head coach is fired, are you free to go, or are you still with the Dolphins?
Your contract is with the Dolphins, but I think it's up to the new coach when they come in.
Okay.
So they can't just
like, he can't go. He gets permission to do the head coaching thing, obviously.
Once the coach is fired, I think all the coaches are free to do whatever they want.
Okay. I didn't know. But he already had them lined up even before McDaniel was
right.
Before McDaniel was let go.
Right.
So,
and again, a lot of the sneaky stuff that happens with coaches is it's very easy to get a coach from another coaching staff. All you have to do is give him a higher title. So an offensive coordinator becomes an assistant head coach, even though he's doing the same thing.
Look, even if they don't get Harbaugh, I think it's the right decision to move on from McDaniel. I just think that it's just got too much baggage with what this era was, and it's too tied to the quarterback, and it's too tied to Chris Greer. It was fun. There were fun moments, but it wasn't good enough. And I do think that there's something to just starting fresh, because they've never they haven't done that in Ross's ownership.
Can I just say this? You're a guy that's all about fun.
Yeah.
So this sounds like you are getting away from that to build some consistency, which I appreciate.
I wouldn't mind the profane coach from Jacksonville. I would like that. I wouldn't mind a character.
But that's not here. You know what you need to go through this process? You almost need a subdued coach. You need a coach that understands the situation, is not going to be a hothead about it. And so from that standpoint, you need a coach to understand the process that you're going to have to go through. If you get a hothead, they want to win right away, and they don't care that your team's not good enough.
Yeah, that is fair. Silly Sauce 778 says, is Tobin maturing?
No. That was an accidental slippage. Like, don't worry, as soon as football season starts, and soon as I hope all the fans are understanding that this is a process that's going to take, a couple of years, especially if this guy builds through the draft. That means you're going to trade a lot of guys, get additional draft picks. Then you're going to have young players playing again. It's just going to be a whole process. So I really hope that people are patient, and the answer to me better not be, oh, we've been patient for 25 years. No, you haven't had results in 25 years. You haven't been patient. So stop with that. But this is going to require some, especially when you hire a guy that says we like to build through the draft. That means a lot of guys going to get traded for assets and draft picks.
Respectfully, again, and I have nothing against this Jon-Eric Sullivan, because people are like, I'm seeing these on Twitter. Listen to his philosophy, and his philosophy is like, what GM's philosophy isn't to build through the draft.
Yeah,
That's how you get your roster. You're either good at it.
This GM wasn't the GM for the last few years, wasn't,
because he sucked at it. He was terrible at picking players.
He was old Mr. F them picks
because he was bad at picking players. So he's like, you know what's good? Trading for players we know they're good. The only problem with him was, well, there were a lot of problems with him, but one of the big problems with him was he didn't care if they had an injury pass. He's like, football's 100% injury sport.
That right there.
I was like, what?
Of all the things that I would say I've had the single-handed biggest problem with Chris Grier, it's the fact that a guy that's been around football that much says that about injuries. That don't mean you go give a broke down player $10 million. Because if hopefully he'll turn it around. Who's the wide receiver they signed never played because he got hurt right away or came in hurt?
Which one? Will Fuller?
Fuller.
Odell Beckham Jr.
Will Fuller, but Will Fuller got $10 million.
Cedric Wilson. He did that multiple times.
Right.
That was his thing, dude. We'll take a break. More to come here on the show. Back after this. All right, welcome back, everybody. It's Tobin and Leroy here with you. 104.3 WQAM. Celebrating today, reacting today. Been a football whirlwind the last 48 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, all week. I mean, this whole month, really. Mike McDaniel was let go yesterday. The Dolphins hired their new GM today. Very fast process.
Are we? Well, here, would you say this? I think this is what happened. During the process of finding a GM and them asking about Mike McDaniel, I'm more than sure. I don't know if Jon-Eric did it or if somebody else did it, one of the other candidates. But I'm more than sure the conversation went like this. If you want me to be your GM, I have to be able to pick the coach. And they liked him enough that they said, no problem. You get the job. We'll fire the coach. Because that seems like the order in which all this happened.
Well, that's the thing that was interesting because, Mike had his press conference, which, it was a tough look. But what are you going to do? He's got to, unless you're going to fire him right away. They didn't do the interviews yet. Again, you got to meet these guys. I'm sure they had inroads of who they liked, but you got to have the official interview where you're talking to guys. And they let Mike have his press conference. And then Stephen Ross and him apparently met on Tuesday. But there was reports that, they were asking in these interviews, what do you think of Mike? And what do you think about somebody new?
Which they should.
Which guy isn't going to prefer, having their own guy in that potential, because it can be awkward. It can be weird. And we've seen it. We've seen it with his own franchise. It can be weird. So
they did it right then. They did it. They did it right. They didn't hamstring a new GM with the past stuff. They gave him a clean slate.
Clean slate, dude. And that's what they've been needing.
Now, did you hear the demands from that? Let me see if I can pull this up. The demands that John Harbaugh wants.
I have not heard the demands that he wants.
You ready?
Yeah.
This is from Tony Grossi in Cleveland.
Okay.
Found out what John Harbaugh's requirements are to be interested in the next head coaching job. $20 million per year.
Yeesh.
$10 million staff budget.
Okay.
Total authority over the roster.
Okay.
And would like to select his own GM.
All right.
Which means if you already picked a GM, probably
you ain't coming to Miami.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you can read in that what you want, but this is.
And you want to know something?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. There was so much Giant smoke for like the first 24 hours that he got fired. But you want to know what gets you 20 million?
What?
Competition. And so if you say Big Boss Ross, he wants his Harbaugh, you're your agent, you put that stuff out there, all of a sudden the price goes up for him with New York. So
do you realize that how you're going to compete when you've already selected a GM?
I'm not saying they're competing. I'm saying the agent puts it out on Harbaugh's side, puts the Dolphins' interest out there so the Giants pay him more.
But hold on.
But with this list, and they already selected the GM, how are they going to take it serious?
No, now they probably don't. But that,
right.
beforehand, you have a fever pitch about it. Like that's what you probably are doing. You're drumming up because what do? You try and get a fan base in a lather for a coach, and we're all like, oh,
I don't think that you need to trump up, or not use that word to hype up the John Harbaugh experience. I think there's a whole bunch of fan bases that are already excited about him possibly being their coach. Right? I don't think you have to pit one team against another. I think you can just go in there, have a conversation. This one I'm offering, and then go, oh, so-and-so's offering more. Like, you don't have to make it up. So he's going to be that much in demand, especially with what? 6 teams now?
8.
8 teams need a head coach?
Well, 8, and we don't know what might happen to the losers.
Possibly up to 11.
Right.
Probably,
Correct.
So when he asked that,
it could be 10. It could be 10 guys. Now, if I am anybody that is looking for a coach now that is willing to give these requirements, I'm certainly not waiting until a Buffalo job or maybe a Pittsburgh job clears up. Because those two organizations, I don't know if they won't even be interested in John Harbaugh. But what about Buffalo?
Yeah, Buffalo definitely could. I would think, especially with them getting a new stadium and having the Josh Allen thing. Like, that's the thing. The true thing is with the Dolphins, right? And the quarterback situation is you are going to have to do something creative or really desperate.
Right.
And so I would feel like, and this goes back to the maturity thing, my thought is the thing what causes desperation is Stephen Ross's age. But if you want to do it right, then you let this guy go and be a part of the process to pick his guy. And obviously, Green Bay has a pretty good track record with quarterbacks. So even
3 quarterbacks in 30 years?
Yeah. Yeah. And even Malik Willis looked good for him,
So if he wants $20 million, he wants his $10 million for his staff, right?
Yep.
He wants all of that. Cool. I think many owners can give him that. But he wants to pick his own GM, or because a lot of those teams already have GMs. The only place that doesn't have a GM and a head coach as of right now would be
Atlanta.
And that's the promising. That's where Arthur Blank's going to throw you money. He got that Home Depot.
Arthur Blank got that. Arthur Blank is another guy that throws money out there.
He's got Home Depot money.
I mean, look no further than he paid Kirk Cousins to sit on the bench.
And they just restructured his deal to free up some money for whatever GM they bring in.
Yeah, I don't know about can he really pick his own GM if the teams without a coach already have a GM. Like,
right,
you can't go to
Giants. Is it safe to just eliminate those teams?
Well, I don't know if you can, because, for example, the Giants, right? They still keeping Joe Shane
for now. Unless you really feel like, hey.
So Harbaugh can say, look, I'll come to you, but you got to let your general manager go.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could. It's not a great look, but I definitely think he could do that. Being like, hey, we want cohesiveness. Like that's honestly, that's what they did in New York, because they brought both those guys from the Bills.
Right.
They brought him and Dayball. So that was what they tried doing. Like, hey, Joe Shane will know the deal.
All right.
And also, you let Saquon Barkley go to the Eagles, dude. Like,
that's automatically 3 strikes, right?
You're like, he's
interference. Something.
Yeah, you're gonna know one day when he gets the call. He goes, "Is this about the Saquon thing?" He goes, "Yep." Fair enough. We'll take a break.
Somebody said Pittsburgh and the New York Giants are the most stable ownership.
Well, the Maras and the Rooneys have owned these organizations like forever.
Right, but I mean,
and
you can go. You know,
They
I
got
would
10
say
titles.
go check the Hunts. Go with
Yeah.
Pittsburgh. I don't know. New York has had a little chaos around it.
Not really.
Well,
They
since
just haven't won.
post Eli, it's been a bit of a disaster.
During Eli was a disaster.
Right.
They haven't won, but you know the Maras and you know the Roonies. So
Right.
Take
The
a break.
Hunts.
We'll